shit.
I tell you what, man, it is really hard to lose your job in this country. Properly
That's what I'm
hard.
saying. Yeah,
Like
that's what makes it a
I
bit more shocking, I suppose. But
I know people who survived so many things and just
mm,
got away with so much that the company's
in
just
the
like,
end,
how
they
do we
kind of
get rid of
just
this?
pay
We'll
you
toss
to
them.
leave, don't they?
Yeah,
In
yeah.
the end, they just do the redundancies and they just pay people to leave in the end. Because you just, it's so hard to get rid of people.
I know this is going to sound like really ignorant, but you guys don't even need to work per se, right? Like you could just go.
What,
What
on
do
the
they call
dole?
it? Yeah, on the dole. Yeah, on the dole.
Benefits?
That's what I've heard it described
Uh,
as on the dole.
Technically, you can do that. Yeah, you can make a career out of doing that for sure if you want to.
Oh,
But
yeah, I can't see how people do
I'm
it,
just
but
not. Yeah, exactly. I'm not just not really brought up that way and not built that way. And besides, I'd have to have a serious downsize on the house and the rest of the shit. So I won't be able to buy six games, or maybe I would. I don't know. You see all these silly stories about it. People buying thousands and thousands of pounds worth of Christmas presents, and that's all benefits paid.
Wow.
This kind of shit. Yeah, man. Ah.
I was seeing this article, and it was basically saying that they want that here in America, and they're like, in this country, no one should be poor. Basically, was the idea. So I just can't imagine
Yeah, so nice. Yeah.
the amount of
it's a
people that
vote
would just
winner.
take advantage of that. Like, oh my god.
It's a
Oh yeah.
it's only happened there because it was a vote winner. One party said it one day, and everyone went, "Oh, that's a great idea. Vote them in." And
Yeah.
yeah, it's got silly after silly sort of
People
since after
travel
that, really.
from, fucking halfway across the world just to get here so they can get on the system, mate. That tells you what all you need to know about the system and how it works and how much money you can get out of doing it
Yeah, Ark wanted to
in
move
terms
over
of
there.
being able to
Remember?
live. You boys should. You should just both come and live in Norwich
I wonder what
and get
the
your benefits, mate.
No, I'd get a job, man. But I wonder
Mm,
what
mm.
what is required to actually move to another country. Don't you have to have a reason to be there? I mean, to
You need a
actually.
work
That's the
visa.
thing. In Britain, mate, not really. In Britain, because we're part of the euro, anyone who's also part of the euro doesn't have to have a reason at all. They're
Really?
just classed as the same. Yeah, pretty
But
much. There's
but
not a
now
huge amount involved.
but now it's different
Plus,
because
it's
of
harder.
Brexit, right?
Well, Brexit is, well, in theory, that's what big part of what that's about changing, isn't it? It's becoming independent again and just saying, look, no, we haven't just got an open border policy. You can't just every single person from anywhere in whole of Europe that just likes the look of Britain just come waltz in, man. That's kind of what it's about. How
I
far
see.
they'll actually get, how far they'll actually get back to that is, well, completely different matter altogether.
Right.
But yeah,
Wow.
people
Yeah,
people
it would be
earn
good
more
if you
money
get a
a
visa.
year on benefits than me and V man,
What?
right? Yeah,
What do you just have to
and
have
we're
a bunch
both
of?
upstanding working people, and our missus work as well. Do you know what I mean? But these people, no, they're like five-bedroom houses getting 30, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000 a year, depending on how many kids they're pumping out and all the rest of it.
Well, that's
It's
what I
like
was gonna
not a
Hey,
say.
cash
yeah.
cow.
Here, it's really dependent on the kids. Like if they have a, if the people have a bunch of kids, then they could basically live off of that, live off the kids because
Yeah,
they get more
yeah, yeah,
money
that's
per kid.
yeah, yeah, that's exactly it.
Wow. There you go, Art. Just have pop out a couple kids. Go to England,
Nope.
marry some English chick, some bird, find yourself a fit
Yep.
bird, and have some puppies, and you're good, man.
Yeah.
Dang, that was a fight right there.
I got to get in on that Final Fantasy, man. It's just I can't.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I haven't really had the time to crack into it. It's one of
Art
those
I'm
games where the longer you leave it, the harder it is to get back into.
Ark's been sending
I'm
me these
40
screen
hours
caps.
into it.
Oh, nice.
40 hours. Yeah,
Jeez,
I
that's a
might have
lot,
got
dude.
close to that. I might have got close to that over Christmas because I did play it solidly for a good few days.
But I'm only on chapter 5 out of 15 because there's so much side quests. I'm not even doing
Yeah.
the main.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time fishing because that in itself is a fishing
Yeah, that's
game.
fun. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's fun.
a lot of fun, and there's a little bit of depth to it, and there's like multiple locations you can go and fish
It
and get
is.
different.
Yeah.
Brilliant, love that.
Dude, I love the summons. Man. Mm.
Wow.
Sure I got that far yet.
Oh, you got
Thinking
lucky.
about it.
I didn't
Summons,
really.
yeah.
I didn't even really know what summons were. I mean, I played Final Fantasy X, but I don't remember
get the
that.
Ten
summons
have
in that.
summons?
Yeah, you get far enough, and you get the one of the main characters called Luna.
I don't remember.
Has
Oh,
these
the
massive
the
dragon
girl
summon
with
things you
the.
can do.
She had
Yeah.
like the kimono type thing.
Oh, yeah.
Misses to get him.
Ah, okay, his own kid. That's good. I was like, oh, that's a strange job, but okay.
Yeah.
Not to judge or
Brilliant.
anything.
He clearly had been taught how to fucking get the kids into bed asleep and then get on the game and on the
Oh,
movie.
it's the first rule, man.
Yeah.
First rule: establish a bedtime that is around 7 or 8 o'clock. Number one rule.
Well, don't they then wake you up like really early after that?
Nah,
Yeah,
mine
they
don't.
get up early
Mine
anyway.
sleeps
It don't
through.
really matter.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Mine get up at 7 every morning. Pretty consistent.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't go to sleep at that time anymore, but it's like, go to your bedrooms. It's bedtime. It's 8 o'clock. Get out.
Where would the options be to lower the online settings options? Soundtrack. You think there'd be like a master volume? Oh, here we go. Sound settings. All right, I'm gonna lower everything down to like.
Oh, left. Oh, you said left, you prick. It's fucking right. You knobhead. Get out of my car.
Do you got the guy
I'll
like
understand
telling
it makes
you?
when you crash it.
Yeah.
Cool pilot.
Yeah.
Cool driver.
Oh, he's in the car with you.
Yeah, man, you never seen Rally before.
Never. I've never watched. The only
Wow.
yeah, the only reason I even really know about it is because of the video games. I don't know if you guys remember the first rally game I played. It was on the Sega Saturn, but it was also an arcade game, and it was the Sega Rally.
Sega Rally.
Yeah, and that
Oh,
game was
fucking amazing game.
fucking amazing for its time.
Yeah.
And it
Mind
came right
blown.
after Daytona, and Daytona was good, but Sega
Yeah.
Rally was just another level. And
My mate
yeah.
got it on his Dreamcast. He got like an import Dreamcast or something, I'm pretty sure, before they even came out over here. And he had that, and I was just
Oh.
like, I need one of those right now. Just
Wow.
needed it.
Yeah.
So good, Sega Rally.
Absolutely, yeah. I forgot that they then released it for Dreamcast. That must have been a way better version because the Saturn one was very, very limited compared to the arcade. It was
Oh
good.
yeah, I remember my mate did have it on a Saturn actually as well. Yeah, that was Sega Rally 2 on the Dreamcast.
Oh, okay, it was a sequel.
And it's
Okay,
the same as the arcade because it's
Yep.
the same board, isn't it?
Yep, it's the same exact board, exactly.
Mm.
Straight, perfect port, probably. I know the
Facts.
Daytona.
Perfect console. Perfect console.
Yeah, I really did love the Dreamcast. I was so sad to see it
Arcade
go.
ports straight to your home.
Mm-hmm. I think that was the first true arcade port system.
Do you remember the term? I don't know if you used it over there. Do you remember the term arcade perfect?
Mm-hmm.
Remember
Arcade
that?
Perfect, absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
back in the day, games were so basic. You were like, how close is it to the arcade? Because the arcade was like the prime version of it.
Right.
And then you had all the, your Commodore 64, your NES versions, your Spectrum versions of the game. All at much lower budget quality.
The I've seen some of those like Spectrum because I've been watching a lot of like YouTube videos that are based. A lot of these like gaming historian guys are based in the UK for some reason, and so
Right.
they show all the different versions. And I've been seeing some of these like Spectrum and Amiga, and I forget what the other one was called. It was like a number. It was like 6800 or
Commodore
something.
64.
No, no,
Commodore
not. I
64?
actually had a Commodore, so I know that one. But
Okay.
there was another one like 6800 or something. But those
I'm trying to think what that would be.
those ports were horrible.
Yeah, like really horrible.
There are like two colors,
I,
some of them, and I'm like monochrome.
yeah, yes, it black and the color. That
Mm-hmm.
was what you got.
Yeah.
I remember going to the shops, and you'd go to shops to get a new game, and you would spend literally hours looking at the back of the cases to see the screenshots.
Yeah.
And they would like vary the screenshots. You'd see like one for the Spectrum version, one for the Amiga version, so you'd get to see how much better it looked. I always wanted an Amiga for that reason.
Oh, really?
It's
So
not one step beyond.
One step beyond V, man. Yes, mate.
You know, man.
Brilliant,
The best
brilliant.
spirit shop in the city.
Yeah, that was awesome.
one
I
step
remember it
beyond
now.
is that the that's where you guys got your games?
Yeah, it was a little indie gaming shop. That was before they really had any kind of gaming chains, you know.
Oh, wow. So it was a little mom and pop spot.
Kind of, yeah. That
That's
was
cool.
So cool.
Yeah. Here it was like Toys R Us. That was the big one. And there were mom and pop shops all over, but
We
I
didn't
can't-
have a Toys R Us in anywhere near Norwich for a long time. When we were kids, you had to drive like
to
Ipswich.
London.
200 miles to Ipswich.
Well,
My father-
okay,
Yeah,
Ipswich
If
had
you were going to
a
London,
Toys R
you
Us?
drive past it, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and you'd always see it because that was right on the junction of the motorway.
Yeah, and you just go,
You'd
oh, there's
always
Toys
go
R
past
Us.
that.
Never
Yeah.
been in there, but that's Toys R Us.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, so we had little indie stores like one step beyond for games. Brilliant.
It's interesting to me how different the markets were because the NES had no presence at all, and Sega Master System was the shit, right? And all
Yeah.
these little personal computer like Amigas and Spectrum and all the Commodore 64 were big, whereas here it was like the opposite was the case. It was the NES was it. That was everything. NES.
Really.
Yeah, man. And nothing could touch it. It was like 90 something market share, 90%
So basically,
market share.
everyone you knew had a NES, right?
Yeah, until Sega Genesis came along. And then, the kids who had
Yeah.
money could get Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
And a little bit of TurboGrafx 16 here and there, but not really. And then,
Yeah.
obviously, when the Super Nintendo came out, that was pretty massive. But prior to that, it was just NES. Nintendo, everybody.
Yeah, everyone had a Master System here. Maybe that was just us, but
It was, yeah. I actually watched a documentary. A YouTuber,
Oh, right, yeah.
Kim Justice, really good YouTuber, and the video basically focused on why it was like why Sega Master System was bigger, and basically
Oh,
what it
okay.
was is that Nintendo ignored Europe, basically.
Yeah, well, that was always the case back in the day. We used to get shafted on everything. Everything would come out like a year later. It was terrible. And as for Nintendo, yeah, they always had shit support anyway.
Until
They
Super Nintendo.
always had shit. Yeah.
Because I think somebody in the UK basically took over their promotion. I forget
All right.
who it was. The Virgin stores, that guy.
Yeah, Virgin Media. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Branson.
Branson, that's it. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
why the Super Nintendo took off the way it did.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. But of course the Mega Drive was still the shit.
Yeah, we had a Mega Drive first. My brother got one for Christmas. on Christmas Day, and I remember sitting there Christmas Day afternoon, and we sat there and completed the game. Spent all afternoon trying to finish it. We'd
What-
already played it. Had already been out quite a while. Do you know what I mean?
What game was that?
Sonic.
Oh, Sonic. Okay, that was your launch title.
Yeah. No, that would have been. You're talking maybe a year, maybe two after it actually launched.
Oh, okay.
By this
Yep.
time, Sonic was massive, and then they decided to put it as a bundle, as an official kind of Mega Drive pack.
Mm-hmm.
You got Altered Beast and Sonic.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, we just had Altered Beast, which, I mean, it was impressive, but looking back, it wasn't that. Yeah, it was a good
Terrible
game.
game.
I wouldn't say it was. Oh, but it looked just like an arcade
No, it's not
game.
terrible. Yeah.
I mean, to play that at home on your TV,
yeah.
that was fucking
That
crazy.
was just so
man.
hard. The gameplay was so cripplingly punishing, and it was just so hard. And you just get to that first level. You might get past that, but I don't know. It was still good. It
Dang
served
it.
the purpose. Don't get me wrong.
You know that there was
What?
like a modifier. If you held down B and pressed
Yeah.
start, it would put you into like an options menu where you could give yourself more lives, more energy,
Yeah.
and make the game easier.
Yeah. Eventually, yeah, we found out the cheats and stuff to do all that stuff. Sonic, and we finished Sonic on this first day you got it, because we'd already played it anyway. So it's just like, kind of stuck with Old Beast then.
Yeah, but at least it was 2 players.
We didn't have 2 controllers then.
Oh right, and the controllers. Oh
That
man,
was
the
a
controllers were
premium.
so expensive too.
Well, so are the games, man. To go out and buy a new game for the Mega Drive back then,
$60
it cost you 65, 70 quid.
Yeah.
Pounds. Mortal Kombat 2, when that came out, that was £80.
That's like $100.
Yeah,
Yeah,
at least.
that was bloody good game, man.
Fuck
It
yeah, it
was.
was. Yeah, it was. And the Super
But-
Nintendo version was perfect. I mean, it wasn't
Yeah, it was,
arcade
yeah.
perfect, but it was,
No,
it
but still,
was
yeah.
it was damn good.
Mm.
Unlike the first Mortal Kombat, which I thought was kind of a shit port. The
Well,
second
you had
one
to
was
put
good.
cheat in to get the gore, didn't you?
Yeah, on the Mega Drive version, not on the Super Nintendo one.
Yeah, on the
Super
Mega
Nintendo
Drive.
didn't even
Yeah, on
have
the
it.
Mega Drive. Didn't it? Oh no, it's a squeaky clean Nintendo, isn't it? They didn't allow it the first time.
No, but then they saw what it did to their market share, and they're like, oh, well, we better do something about this. That was a nice goal. Yeah, there was this, I could post it in the chat. It's like a photo, and it's adjusted for inflation, showing how much all the games were when we were kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and dude, it is brutal.
Oh, you
let me-
need to post me that.
I'm posting it right now.
Yeah.
Some of those games, man, like Metroid and those games were like $110. There you go. I posted it in the chat. This is dollars, but you can make it out. The one that blows me away is the GameCube, because that adjusted for inflation launched at $259. That is a great price. And the Dreamcast is good
Oh,
too.
is this how much they
$272.
would be now to buy? Yeah.
Yeah, it shows the original price as well underneath. So like if you could see there, like the Master System 412, the original price was $200, but if you adjust for inflation, that's $412 today. That's pretty expensive. Look at the 3DO. It's just fucking insane.
Yeah, I saw that 3DO. My mate had a 3DO. There was 2 types. There was the
Mhm,
premium
Panas-
one,
Yeah, the flip top
Panasonic one, and the cheapo one. Was it Star something? I can't remember what it was called.
Gold Star.
Gold Star. Yeah, that's the one.
Yes.
So a mate of mine he used to be a mate of mine. I haven't spoke to him in about 20 years, but he was a bit of a brat, and his parents gave him everything, and he had the Panasonic version, obviously. And then my other mate, he's a good mate, he had the cheapo Gold Star one. I'm not entirely sure what the difference actually was.
Well, one of them was like a
that the
flip top.
CDI?
No, that was Philips.
Oh,
That
Yeah,
was-
it was something else. Yeah, it was something
Yeah,
else.
that was a whole other system. That was yeah, I remember that one too. I wanted both of those. I didn't care. I was like, oh
Yeah,
my
man.
god, you could play their video. You know, it was full motion video before we realized
Yeah.
how crappy it really was. It just looking
Need for
at it was
Speed.
impressive. Oh
That's what
god,
made me want to get a 3DO. That was just like, oh my god, it's real. Look how real it looks.
yeah, the digitized graphics.
Yeah, yeah. I was well impressed. And there was a really good version of Road Rash on the 3DO.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
of the only other good versions they ever made of it. Other than like the original 2.
There was a game for the original PlayStation that it was like Extreme
Oh,
Sport. You know what I'm talking about? It was like
So,
it was like a total ripoff of Road Rash, but it was so fun. You were basically rollerblading, and you had to knock people down, and but
yes.
it looked and it played just like Road Rash.
Yeah, they just gone, well, we need to make games that look like that. That'll be enough.
Yeah, and it was. It was. People
Yeah.
were so starved for digitized graphics that they want. But I never had a 3DO. My cousin had the Panasonic. You know, he was in high school at the time.
Nice.
My older cousin. And,
Yeah, different matter. Yeah.
yeah, different exactly. And so he was able to convince his parents to get it for him. And I remember going over to his house and seeing Super Street Fighter 2 on it. And speaking of Arcade Perfect, that was an Arcade Perfect port. One of the few, because it had all the frames of animation and everything. It was an
right,
Arcade Perfect port of Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. And
I had that on the SNES. I bought that.
oh, I did too.
That was-
And that's the thing. I played that game
I always
24/7.
thought that was pretty much Arcade Perfect, but obviously not.
No. Go back and play it now,
That
and you're
one's
just
bad.
like, wow.
Yeah. In slow motion, right?
Because I remember going to like a grocery store or whatever and seeing like, you know, Street Fighter 2's announced for Super Nintendo, and seeing the pictures and thinking it looked amazing. Like, oh my god, I can't believe it looks that good. And even think,
I
you know,
bought the
taking it
system
home.
for that.
Me too. Yeah, me too.
Got the Street Fighter 2 Turbo Pack.
I only had a Genesis, a Mega Drive, and a regular Nintendo, and I sold my Nintendo and all my games so I could get a Super Nintendo.
Hey, speaking of which, have you seen they've hacked the mini NES?
Yeah, I saw
now
that they
they've
did a
got a bunch
hack
of
where you
shit to
could
it.
you could put more games on it. I think it was like 90 games
yeah.
or something.
Yeah,
But I
something
didn't
like
really look into it. Do you know if it supports the same menu and everything, or is it just, oh, that was a nice goal?
Yeah, likewise, I haven't really looked into it. I just kind of triggered my memory that I saw an article headline about it.
Yeah, see,
Like
same here. I
and
saw the
apparently
headline. I
the-
didn't even look at it.
The developers left. The developers kind of knew that they were always going to hack it because they left a message in there for them.
Oh, did they?
Something along the lines of, "Yeah, just please don't break it," something like that. There was more to the message, but the message kind of ended with, like, you know, you can do what you want. You found what you need to do, but please just don't break it.
Wow, that is crazy.
Yeah, man.
That is super cool. Yeah, I need to get my hands on one again as soon as they're back in stock, whenever that is.
Yeah, I'm never gonna buy another one, man.
Oh, I absolutely am. If I could get it for the retail price, I absolutely will.
Are they available again yet? Or are they still
No, they're not.
being? Oh, really?
I wonder how much Nintendo's even focusing on it, because the Switch sold out here. I don't know if you heard about it, but it's sold out in
Oh,
pre-order.
really?
Yeah, it's already sold out. So no
I get
Switches for
that.
me.
There's two reasons for that. As Nintendo, they won't have the stocks to provide anyway.
Right.
So the numbers that they've sold out of are probably not very big. And B, there hasn't really been a proper new console out for quite some time, really, has there?
You know what though? I think it. I don't want to like slam it because I will eventually get it. But is it really a proper console? I mean, is it really?
No, I didn't. Well, I don't know much about it, but it's basically the best deluxe handheld console.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I mean, you're getting PS3 ports of FIFA on it. That kind of tells you what the power level is.
Yeah. The Zelda game is a Wii U port.
Yeah.
And the only difference, the Wii U version I think ran at 720, and the new one, new one, will run at 900, which is not even full HD. Nintendo
Are you serious?
baffles me. Yes, I am deadly serious, man. I looked it up. I was
Wow.
reading an article about it. So you're
I
not even
didn't
going to
know that.
render it full HD. I mean, seriously, we have 4K now. What the fuck planet are Nintendo actually living on?
I guess they're living on the like we're gonna make ours more affordable planet, but then you look at the price and you realize, hey, it's
It
$300.
isn't though, is it really?
No, it's not. It's $300.
And the Zelda game pre-order is £65.
Yeah, because it's on a cartridge. Well, not a proper cartridge, but it's on a chip. It's like on a slightly.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's they're
I
there's
didn't
they're
realise
not gonna
that.
have disc. It's not no discs on it. It's all like a proprietary card
Of
that's
course it is. It's
very sim.
Nintendo.
Yeah, exactly. Very similar to the 3DS card, a little bigger.
Oh, okay. Yeah. If they bring out Pokemon for it, I will buy one.
Oh, you know they're going to, man. They know
End of story, mate.
people want a proper Pokemon.
That's why I haven't really played. I mentioned earlier, I bought all these games. I haven't really played many of them for longer than a day or so because I've been playing Pokemon on the 3DS.
Wow,
Truth
that
be
good.
told. Yeah, man. It's brilliant. Brilliant.
Where did Arrik and Chris go? Are you guys still there?
I'm concentrating. I'm concentrating.
Yeah, dude,
Chris
you're
is in the
dead.
zone.
You're dead quiet over there.
You have to play a game like that.
Is it really tough? You one little mistake and you're out of the race type thing.
Yep. Yep. One
Yeah,
little mistake and you're in a tree.
One crash and you ain't gonna win. It's just shame.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Even if you don't hit a tree and you go off, you're probably not going to win the stage anyway.
Are you drifting around, Chris? Or are you just doing proper like regular turns?
No, I'm drifting and all that. Yeah, fucking handbrakes on and shit. It's all good.
It's off road, isn't it? So there is a lot of drifting.
Yeah,
have to
you
sort of drift with a lot of speed.
naturally drifts anyway,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah. Meanwhile, I'm farming. That's what I'm doing.
On Final Fantasy?
Oh, man.
I've taken note on Stardew Valley, which is a little indie game that was in the sale.
Oh, is
And
that game that
I'm
looks like a
addicted to
Super
it.
Nintendo game?
Yep.
How much
Brilliant.
is it?
It was £6 and I bought it.
Wow.
I've got I've got a rehab so badly from Destiny. I've had to go completely the other end of the scale.
Go
No
to old
violence,
games.
no shooting. Yeah, it's like yeah, and it looks and feels like an old game, which is cool.
I was looking at like an article and it was like games you could play on your Mac or whatever, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
that game was listed on there, or it wasn't Mac. It was games you could play like on a crappy PC. Like you don't need a graphics card,
Yeah.
or you could just
I
play it
saw
on like
something around
on a $300 laptop. And
Yeah.
I saw that game on there, the Stardew Valley, and
Yeah.
I thought, hey, wait a minute, that's that game that I see Razer playing, because I'd seen you playing it a few times, and I didn't. In my head, when I saw you playing it, I pictured like a space shooter or something. I don't know why I imagined that, but when I saw the
It's a funny
I saw the
title.
when I saw the article, it looked like a Final Fantasy game or something. It looked, or
Yeah.
what is that, Chrono Trigger? It looked like Chrono Trigger.
Yeah. It looks like that, and a bit like Zelda as well in terms of the graphic style of it. But that's where the similarities end because it's basically just like a big farming game. You ever play? Oh, it's hard to explain really. You can do a whole bunch of other stuff as well. You can explore and mine and fish and do all that sort of shit, but it's mainly just about farming for me.
Sound like settlers.
Yeah, it's that kind of concept, but on a very basic sort of 8-bit graphic style, and how it all works is very basic. So you just dig a hole in the ground, you plant a seed, and it takes a few days for it to grow, and then you pluck out and sell it, and you start
Yeah.
multiplying that massively up. keep making more money. You can buy better equipment and better seeds and all that kind of shit. And I don't know. I just kind of got hooked on it really.
What's the actual point of the game? Is there like a main? Is there like a linear story, and you're just doing side quests, or?
Um, there is sort of a main thread to it, although it's very loose and daily quests like these type of fish, grow this kind of plant, whatever. And there are events seasonally like Halloween and Christmas and summer events you can do. And also there's this sort of community centre which is all broken down, and there's loads of other stuff in the valley that's broken, and so by doing certain tasks, growing certain fruits and vegetables and all that kind of shit, and go hand it in there, kind of starts to fix the valley up. So I guess the objective is to try and fix everything up and make everyone like you, kind of. There's this whole side part to it about the relationships with all the other villagers, which I haven't really bothered with, but you can kind of go and give them presents on their birthday and all this kind of shit. It's all a whole completely sub part to the game.
That actually sounds really cool.
It's cool. It's just, you know, if you like any of those kind of like settlers or kind of resource gathering kind of games.
I've never even played Settlers. I vaguely remember the name, but I don't know anything about it.
It's kind of like Sim City, but medieval.
Oh, okay.
You must have played Sim City, right? I mean,
Yeah.
everyone's played that game.
Yeah,
surely.
absolutely. I played one on the PC. I forget which one. It was like a 386 or whatever the PC was back then.
386, yeah.
Windows 95.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wasn't even my computer. It was my friend Ben's. He let me borrow it, and I played like Warcraft and SimCity, Heroes of Might and Magic, which I still play to this day. They released a really, really good version of Heroes of Might and Magic 3 for the iPad and Android, I suppose. And it's really good, man. It's like perfect.
Never played one of those.
Really? Oh man, those were a great time, man. You basically it's a strategy game, but it's not real time. It's what is it, grid battle, where you're like 1 move at a time.
Like Civilization kind of scenario.
Yeah, exactly. And the cool thing is, if you played with multiple people, there was an option it was called hot seat. So your guy would have a certain amount of movement that you could do, and then you'd have to go to the next day before he could move again. So you'd end your day, you'd do all your upgrades to your castle, you'd buy all your army or whatever, you'd move your character as much as you could, try to pick up resources, and then you'd end your day, and then you'd switch. It was hot seat, so your buddy would come in and he would take over and do his day. So me and my friends would sit there for hours. I mean, absolute hours, like 3, 4 in the morning playing that game. Just poured
Sounds a lot like Civilization.
Civilization had that hot seat option?
I don't know about the hot seat option. I did play one of the versions, one of the more later versions, online with a friend, and we kind of did that. Yeah, you kind of both got to do your stuff, take your turns, do all your resources, bits and bobs, do your turns, and then you clicked it, and then good games. I like those sorts of games.
Yeah, me too. And it's one of the few games that I was able to get my missus into. She loves Heroes 3. She'll sit there and play it with me for hours.
Nice.
And it's the kind of game you could play with your missus or with your kids, you know what I mean? It's just one of those games. It's really great. Atletico Bilbao is offering me $46 million for Özil. For Özil.
Oh my god, mate. Do you know who all the classic players are in that? Are you still in the transfer window?
I am, yeah. But I put no classic players. I put no classic players.
Ah, why would you do that? Why would you not want to buy Zidane?
Because
Seriously.
like the suspension of disbelief. It kind of breaks it for me. I like to believe, like I get really into it and believe that it's my team and I'm building this team and looking for young
Yeah,
players.
exactly. And you want Zidane in it, don't you?
It kind of breaks the fantasy for me. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's like,
That's why I love it. That's why I love the Master League.
but it makes
Just
no
so I can
sense.
build-
Like,
I want to build. Yeah, I know that, but I want to build. It's like doing like FIFA Ultimate Team, but I'm building a team of classic players. So I have
Yeah, I
Zidane,
did that once.
Beckham, Shearer, Gascoigne. It's that era of classic players in this one.
right.
Batistuta, brilliant.
I can remember when I was playing pairs, I made a team up with Pele and Maradona
Yeah,
and Bobby Moore and Lineker.
yeah.
That was a fucking
Yeah,
shit.
the
I'll
older
tell you that
ones,
was.
the older ones had the more classic 60s, 70s, 80s players, and the ones now, the last two I've played, have had the more recent generation.
All right, cool.
Dennis Bergkamp and Henri and stuff like that. That kind of era.
It makes no sense like that. My fantasy is broken by the fact that they're older players. Like, this isn't my team. I'm not the fucking owner or the manager or any of that. So it really makes no sense that that would be the thing to break it, but for some reason it does. I have no explanation for it, man. It makes no sense.
Mm.
I realize it's ridiculous, but it does.
Well, no, the idea is to play the game how you want to play it, but I love the whole.
No,
First thing I
dude,
do is go start the Master League, go into the transfer section, see what classic players I can find.
you've
away.
absolutely sold me on it. I'm kind of regretting now that I didn't do that. Maybe I'll have to do a separate
Well,
Master League.
you can go in there, and I tried to buy Ronaldo, Fat Ronaldo,
Oh wow, Fat Ronaldo.
and he was over. You know the one I mean,
I do.
the best one.
Oh well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, where he was, mate, he was fucking lethal.
Yeah, you know
So
what?
cynical.
It kind of makes you
He's
wonder.
probably not as good as Cristiano Ronaldo, to be fair. But
Well, I mean, how many surgeries did he have on his knees?
Mm.
You kind of wonder, like, what would have happened if he hadn't been so injury prone.
Yeah, for sure.
So you couldn't get Ronaldo. You couldn't get.
But I
Fat
tried
Ronaldo.
to buy him, and he was over 100 million. Then I tried to get, I think someone like Dennis Bergkamp or someone else. I can't remember who it was now. Who was it? Damn it. Because the names aren't correct. That's part of the fun, is finding the players and trying to figure out who the hell they actually are.
Oh really? So it's just like.
Yeah, the names are wrong. The names are. That's the randomest thing about PES, right? They don't have the licenses properly, so they don't name the teams their proper names. The player names, however, are correct. Yet when they put the classic players in it, for some reason they don't put their proper names.